It seems like even the series creator is disappointed in Mighty No. 9 after its long-awaited release had been critically panned. After a lengthy development cycle and too many announced delays to count, the spiritual successor to Mega Man from series creator Keiji Inafune released on nearly all 10 planned platforms today. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the game everyone was hoping for. Backers of the original Kickstarter are claiming botched codes, missing DLC, and numerous reports of buggy gameplay on consoles, as well as last-minute delays for the Xbox 360 and Linux versions of the game. During a live stream on the developer's Twitch channel, Inafune and former Capcom producer and Comcept team member Ben Judd commented that after everything that's happened, it's still better than not having the game at all. Judd and, to some extent, Inafune had this to say.
And Inafune-san said, I want to word this in a way to explain some of the issues that come with trying to make a game of this size on multiple platforms, etc. But he's like, I'm kind of loath to say this because it's going to sound like an excuse, and I don't want to make any excuses. I own all the problems that came with this game, and if you want to hurl insults at me, it's totally my fault. I'm the key creator. I will own that responsibility.
Since Judd is both translating for Inafune and mixing in his own commentary, it's hard to pin down the original creator's feelings, but the mood does not seem joyful in the Comcept office. Judd later admitted that creating 10 different versions probably wasn't the best idea.
He said, in my many years at Capcom, I've worked on a ton of different titles, and Capcom was known for their multi-platform strategy. But never did they ever do 10 SKUs all at the same time. 10 different versions all for one title. Usually you have the base game, and then you will work on the port after the base game is done. In this case, it was a do the base game and do all the ports all at the same time, and it ended up being a huge amount of work, more than they actually estimated.
Development and release issues aside, Mighty No. 9 is currently available on Xbox One, PS4, PC, Wii U, Vita, and PS3, with the Xbox 360 and Linux versions coming in the next few days. Flaming Fowl Studios, the remnant Lionhead Studios development team, have canceled the Kickstarter funding for their online collectible card game Fable Fortune ahead of the scheduled end of the campaign, announcing that it had picked up external funding and would be focusing its time on creating a closed beta on Steam. Fable Fortune was said to be in development by Lionhead for a few years prior to Microsoft shuttering the entire studio. Fortunately, Microsoft allowed the former team to retain the licensing to create Fable Fortune. Now with their immediate future solidified with the external funding, all Kickstarter backers will receive alpha access ahead of its Steam closed beta. And after seeing Mass Effect Andromeda at E3, many fans of the series were curious how the massive decisions made across the last 3 games would affect the new sequel universe, particularly the massive universe-changing decision at the end of Mass Effect 3. Thankfully, in an interview with Eurogamer, BioWare studio boss Aaron Flynn confirmed that Andromeda would not acknowledge the prior Mass Effect story endings. Quote, "We want this to be a new story, and it would be very hard to say it's a new story, but also that you need to understand how the past trilogy ended. It's important for us to have elements from the trilogy for fans to have in the background. Ultimately, this is intended to be a fresh story, but we want to have things for people to find and go, oh, I remember that character." The in-universe answer is actually quite simple. The endings of the first Mass Effect trilogy had wide-reaching impact on the Milky Way galaxy, where the new series takes place light years away in the Andromeda galaxy. And yes, this is a very convenient cop-out. Even more Andromeda news came from creative director Mac Walters, going into a bit of detail on the game's new morality system. While the original trilogy had a very black and white Paragon and Renegade system to represent the arbitrary good and bad moral decisions, Andromeda is ditching the cut and dry system for a more fluid gray area of morality. Walters stated, quote, "We've been looking for other ways to engage more of these shades of gray. Less about it being obviously right or wrong, and more about giving people a sense of choice." Mass Effect Andromeda is set to release sometime in early 2017. And that's it for today. Are you disappointed in Andromeda ditching the prior trilogy's decisions, or are you more let down by Mighty No. 9's release? Let us know in the comments below, and if you'd like to stay up on all the latest gaming news, subscribe to our channel and follow us on Twitter @GlitchFeed. We'll be back tomorrow with another Daily Glitch.